Have to be alert.
Yes.
Hi everyone, we went and met Ruskin Bond, and as promised we asked him your questions. Watch this video to see his responses.
We asked our readers of your books to ask, if they had anything to ask you.
Okay.
And they sent us a whole bunch of lovely questions to ask you. We handpicked from those and we made a list, and I'll just quickly ask you their questions. So there's somebody called for Atika who asked the question, which I think many, which would provide some perspective to many of our other readers as well. She's an aspiring writer and she has come across many creative writing courses. So she is asking that, do you think the art of writing can be taught?
Well, you can certainly, you can be taught English, you can be taught a language, and you can therefore master that language. And after all, writing is all about language. So you can certainly learn to write, but to be a creative writer, let's say a novelist or a poet or a short story writer, perhaps you have to have something in you. It should be part of your nature in a way to want to express yourself in words and language. So you can learn to write, but that doesn't necessarily make you a writer. Everybody should write, I believe, because I think it's great therapy.
Yeah.
So
great therapy.
I think everybody should do something writing, but naturally not everybody will become
a writer.
Will become a Dickens or a Maupassant or a Premchand or any
or even a Ruskin Bond. Yeah, so given that leads me to my next question, which Abhinay has asked. He said, so who do you write for, yourself or for your readers?
I think basically a writer writes for himself in a way, because you're putting yourself into it, and if you can please yourself, then maybe you can please others too. You're writing for yourself, but you're also in your mind you have a reader. You're writing. You want to be read, and your ideal reader in a way is someone like yourself.
Yeah.
So it's something of both. You're writing for yourself, but you want someone to read what you're writing, unless it's a very personal diary or something where maybe it's
just your thoughts.
Just your entirely for.
So interestingly enough, Anjali talks about that. So she asked that is the writer in you the young lad who wrote his first book, or has grown into the man you are today?
I don't know about other writers, but basically I'm still the young boy who wrote his first book. I feel and that's why I still write a lot about childhood and about growing up and my own boyhood. That's the part I enjoy the most. So I think that boy is still in me.
So now I'll just get to the last few questions with an eye on time. But so now readers also want to know that what would have given you company if it wasn't for writing?
Books. Other people's writing.
Other people's writing.
Well, I grew up as a bookworm, so it's always been there.
Yeah.
And I'm still a great reader. In many ways, sometimes I think I'm a reader first and a writer second.
Yeah.
So I would always have books there.
Yeah.
And other interests would be outside interests, like, again, because of my interest in nature. So it would be the walking or hiking or trekking. As when I was younger, I did a lot of that. So my interest in the natural world would have sustained me too. But that too would lead to writing about it. So there's no escape from it.
There's no escape from writing. So, sir, this is very interesting. Has anybody ever asked you to write a story about them?
About them? Yes, people often say, no, they don't put it that way. They all, kids or young people often say, put me in one of your stories. Huh? Not necessarily about them, but they just want to be in the story.
So probably
maybe have a good role in it, or be one of the more sympathetic characters.
So, sir, what has kept you enthusiastic about writing all these years?
Well, a love for language and a love of books. I want to also emulate my favorite authors ever since I was a boy. I enjoy the whole business of putting words together and making good sentences, and and I'm not a great one for plots or intricate technicalities. I write about people, basically, So many of my stories are really sort of, you might say, portraits of character sketches rather than plotted sort of conventionally plotted stories. And I like looking back to and writing about people I've known now. Growing up, childhood, boyhood, that's the natural world. I keep a diary too, so I'm writing about the present, the journal. Some of that comes into my stories occasionally.
So, if I were to ask you, who's the most interesting character you've written about? Because, since most of your stories are character-based,
hard to say. Over the years, I've written about grandparents and eccentric uncles and aunts and old ladies. Like writing about old people, as well as about children. Hard to place my hand on, figure on a particular character. Usually somebody from a humble background who's struggling in a way to make something out of his or her life, as in Dust on the Mountain, maybe, or The Crooked Tree, or stories like that, Most beautiful, sometimes people who are, or young people who are disadvantaged in some way, but trying to make the best of things.
So, sir, the last 3 questions, one word replies.
Have to be alert.
Yes. So, sir, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yeah.
I like a shepherd's pie.
Okay.
Not everyone does, I guess.
Yeah, my husband really loves it though.
Huh?
My husband really loves a good shepherd's pie, yeah. So, what's your favorite book?
My favorite book? I don't know, over the years. Maybe Wuthering Heights. Let's say that.
What's your favorite spot in Missouri?
Favorite?
Spot in Missouri.
Spot.
Is there a place that you love in Missouri?
There used to be a knoll further down the hill, a pine knoll, lonely spot where when I was young, I would go there and sit there and sometimes write or just meditate or contemplate or cogitate. But now I can't get there now, it's too steep and difficult to go clambering up and down the hill. But that was for many years my favorite spot. I called it a place of power.
Wow.
It was under a pine tree on a rocky knoll. I can still see it in the distance from my window, but I can't get there anymore, except in my dreams.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. It was lovely having this conversation with you, and I'm sure our readers would have enjoyed it as well.
Wonderful.